I'm told that, does AI mean love? There's like a name, AI. It sort of sounds a bit like love.
Yeah, AI. I hate the word AI called artificial intelligence. I call it Alibaba intelligence.
Yeah. might end up being true. You never know. I think generally people underestimate the capability of AI. They sort of think like it's a smart human, but it's really much. It's going to be much more than that. It'll be much smarter than the smartest human. It'll be like, can a chimpanzee really understand humans? Not really. We just seem like strange aliens. They mostly just care about other chimpanzees, and this will be how it is, more or less, in a relative. In fact, if the difference is only that small, that would be amazing. Probably it's much greater. The biggest mistake that I see artificial intelligence researchers making is assuming that they're intelligent. Yeah, they're not compared to AI. And so a lot of them cannot imagine something smarter than themselves, but AI will be vastly smarter, vastly. So what do you do with a situation like that? What do you do with a situation like that? I'm not sure. I hope they're nice. I mean, I have obviously some. I think in a situation where the old saying, if you can't beat him, join him. That's what Neuralink is about. Is like, can we go along for the ride with AI? I really think that there should be other companies like Neuralink, essentially to create a high bandwidth interface to the brain. Because right now we are already a cyborg. People don't realize we are already a cyborg because we are so well integrated with our phones and our computers. The phone is almost like an extension of yourself. If you forget your phone, it's like a missing limb. But the bandwidth, the communication bandwidth to the phone is very low, especially input. So, in fact, input bandwidth to computers has actually gone down because of typing with 2 thumbs as opposed to 10 fingers. There's a big reduction in bandwidth. Input bandwidth has gone up because of video and imagery. So input bandwidth is many orders of magnitude greater than output bandwidth. But at a certain point, if we'll just, assuming a benign scenario with AI, we will just be too slow. To something, let's say a computer that has like an exaflop of, many exaflops of compute capability, a millisecond is an eternity, and to us it's nothing. So, I always think like human speech to a computer will sound like very slow tonal wheezing. It's kind of like whale sounds.
Yep.
Because what's our bandwidth? Like a few hundred.
Vision about the technology. I'm not a tech guy. I think more about life. I think AI is going to open a new chapter of the society, of the world, that people try to understand ourselves better rather than the outside world. And it's so difficult to predict the future. 99.99% of the predictions that human being had in the history about the future, all wrong.
Including that one?
Oh yeah. Only, the 0.00% of the prediction are right. They're right because by accident.
Yeah, but it's also true that 80% of statistics are false.
Yeah. So my meaning is
Cold room, come on guys, that was a joke.
My meaning is I'm happy about the artificial intelligence or Alibaba intelligence that's going to understand the inside of the human better. So when people worry a lot about artificial intelligence, people should have more confidence in themselves, because I think if a lot of solutions we don't have today, but there will be solutions tomorrow. We don't have solutions, but the young people will have solutions. So I'm quite optimistic, and I don't think artificial intelligence is a threat. I don't think artificial intelligence is something terrible, but human beings are smart enough to learn that. And to me, artificial intelligence is just like, people worry a lot about this today are those people, I call them, called college smartness. People like us, street smart, we never scared of that. We think it's a great fun, and we want to change ourselves to embrace it.
I don't know, man. That's like famous last words. Let me tell you, AI is, I mean, you look at sort of the rate of advancement, just in general, the rate of advancement of computers is insane. Like a good example would be video games. You know, if you go back 40 years ago, 50 years ago maybe, you had Pong. That was just two rectangles and a square. Now you've got photorealistic real-time simulations with millions of people playing simultaneously. If you assume any rate of improvement at all, these games will be indistinguishable from reality. You will not be able to tell the difference. Either that or civilization will end. Those are the two options. But even if the rate of technology improvement slowed down by 1,000, then okay, advance 1,000 years, or 10,000 years. This is still very tiny. Civilization has been around for probably, arguably, I think 7,000 years or something like that. If you count it from the first time there was any writing, any recorded symbols, besides cave paintings. There's a very tiny amount of time, considering the universe is 13.8 billion years old. I mean, if civilization lasted for 1 million years, we would only increment the third decimal point after 13.8 billion years. If we lasted for 1 million years. So that seems like a long time. Given that we've only been around for 7,000 years, it's been kind of a roller coaster on the civilization front. So, I mean, I'm a naturally optimistic person, to be clear. I'm not saying, hey, doom and gloom. I'm just saying this is the apparent pattern. The rate of change of technology is incredibly fast. It is outpacing our ability to understand it. Well, I'm not sure, is that good or bad? I don't know. I mean, it seemed to me some time ago that you could sort of think of humanity as a biological bootloader for digital superintelligence. For those who know what a bootloader is, a very tiny piece of code without which the computer cannot start. But it's sort of like the minimal bit of code necessary for a computer to start. Like, you couldn't evolve silicon circuits. There needed to be a biology to get there.
Actually, I'm not interested in Mars. I just came back from there, so I'm more interested on the Earth, the things, what's going on happening here. So why are you so curious about the Mars?
I think the thing about Mars is that I think it's important for us to take the set of actions that are most likely to continue consciousness into the future. What increases the probability of consciousness of continuing into the future? I think we should not take it for granted that consciousness will continue, because we have not encountered any aliens. Where are the aliens? This is the Fermi paradox. This is one of the most important questions. How come we've not found any aliens? And there's people out there who think we found aliens. Trust me, I would know. We have not. Okay. People ask me, you've been to Area 51. Okay, please. Among the set of actions we can take that are likely to increase the scope and scale of consciousness such that we are better able to understand the nature of the universe, one of those actions is to become a multi-planet species, or ensure that life is multiplanetary. Not because I think something that, it's not from the standpoint of it just being an escape hatch, or because I think that Earth is doomed, but there's a certain probability that is irreducible that something may happen to Earth. Despite our best intentions, despite everything we try to do, there's a probability at a certain point that some either external force or some internal unforced error causes civilization to be destroyed, or sufficiently impaired such that it can no longer extend to another planet. It's hard to say. Like, let me put it another way. This is the first time in the 4.5 billion year history of Earth that it's been possible to extend life beyond Earth. Before this, it was not possible. How long will this window be open? It may be open for a long time, or it may be open for a short time. I think it would be wise to assume that it is open for a short time, and then let us secure the future of consciousness, such that the light of consciousness is not extinguished. And we should try to do this as quickly as possible.
It's so difficult to secure the future of the Earth, but we can secure the future of next 100 years. I am not the person that I admire your courage for explore the Mars, but I admire a lot of people spend efforts on improving the Earth. It's great to send 1 million people to the Mars, but we have to care about the 7.4 billion people on the Earth. How can we make the world more sustainable? And I'm not that fan of the Mars because I think it's easy to go to the Mars. When you go on the top of the hills of the building, just one step you go to Mars, but you will never be able to come back.
Yeah,
so that's my view.
That's not how it works, though.
And also,
don't do it.
I hate to go to Himalayas too. I mean, when you climb on I think someday I will go there when the elevator is ready. I will go there have a look. But I think people spending more time on the Earth, think about because no matter how long the civilization of the human beings will be, like 1 million or 2 million or 500,000 years, but we only have 100 years. So we cannot solve all the problems for future, but we have to be responsible for the future, but we should care more about how we can enjoy better. My view is that by the artificial intelligence or AI, when human beings understand ourselves better, then we can improve the world better. Last 200 years, human beings try to understand the other side of the world better, understand the other people better. But I think what I feel excited about AI is that AI is to understand people, the inside of the human beings. The Earth, I heard you're gonna dig a tunnel in deep in the Earth, which is amazing. I think, anyhow, every time when I read the news about you are interested in the outside space, I look at you with great respect. We need heroes like you, but we need more heroes like us, working hard on the Earth, improving things every day. That's what I want.
Sure. I mean, to be clear, I'm very pro-Earth.
Yeah.
Great. That sounds great. To be clear, I'm very pro-Earth. When I say, us becoming a multi-planet species or making life extending life beyond Earth, expanding the scope and scale of consciousness, from a resource standpoint, I'm talking about less than 1% of Earth's resources should be dedicated to making life multiplanetary or making consciousness multiplanetary. So, I think it should be like somewhere in between how much we spend on lipstick and how much we spend on healthcare. Like, things like for the preservation of consciousness, we should spend maybe slightly more than we spend on cosmetics. That's my, and I'm pro-cosmetics. I like it. They're great. But this is probably worth spending, I don't know, somewhere like at least 0.5% of Earth's GDP on extending life to be multiplanetary. Maybe 1%, I'd say, seems like a good use of resources. But then we have like 2 orders of magnitude more resources spent on Earth. So it's not like it's, somehow going to fundamentally impair Earth. If like I said, just 1% of Earth resources on that order should be enough to make life multiplanetary. It seems like a wise investment for the future.